Hi, everybody. It's Carol Clark.
And Alice Edgerton.
And we're here to follow up on our podcast from last week about sleep.
Part 2.
Today we're going to talk about...
We're going to talk about foods, just natural ways for you to improve your sleep and just rule out some things, some environmental things that are controlling your sleep. And we're just going to dive in deep on some foods you can eat with that and just things that you can eliminate and just being really conscious of your day and what's going in your day.
Absolutely. And just to give you a little bit more added desire for making some modifications, let's talk a little bit about what are the benefits of getting a good night's sleep.
Right.
And really it's recommended to get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. And what that can do for you is really boost your immunity so that you are less likely to get sick. How cool is that? Nobody has time for being sick.
No.
It also helps you improve your weight loss efforts because we work really hard at trying to lose weight, and you don't want lack of sleep to be causing you to not lose weight. So remember, we spent time talking about all those hormones last week, and so getting enough sleep will truly help your weight loss efforts. The other thing is your mental well-being.
Yes.
There's something about having a good night's sleep.
Absolutely. You do not want to be groggy. Just think about, especially when you were a mom and you were up all night, you didn't get that sleep. How'd you feel like the next day? You just feel like you were in a fog. You can't think. You're grumpy. And you eat more.
Right.
Because you are making bad decisions.
That's right. It also prevents diabetes, hypertension, because when you're not getting enough sleep, it actually increases your likelihood of developing those. It also improves your sex drive.
Ooh,
getting enough sleep.
We all want that.
That's right. So, and it also, we're not really in that, most of us aren't in that phase for fertility, but truly for those that are trying to get pregnant, getting a good night's sleep is really, really important for fertility reasons.
Yep.
And just overall, it improves your quality of life.
Yes. Yeah. We want to have improved quality of life.
That's
because
right.
we want to live longer. And so when you are more relaxed too, so let's say you have had a stressful day too. What's one way that we have talked about previously is do a little meditation. Do a little meditation before you go to sleep also, and just clear your thoughts, clear your head, and put those electronics away.
So we're going to focus really in on what are some of those activities you can do to improve your sleep. And one of the most important ones is to have a schedule. And I know we don't like to rule our lives with schedules, but it is so important, especially when it comes to your sleep. You want to have a set bedtime and a set time to wake up, and make sure that it falls within that 7 to 9 hours of sleep. If you're one of those people who has a hard time falling asleep, you're going to want that nice bedtime routine, perhaps with a warm shower, perhaps with meditation, music, something calming. Reading can help with that. You want to have a whole nighttime routine that you follow. Leave enough time for that, for you to fall asleep, and have enough time while you're sleeping to get that 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So that's really important, is that evening routine.
I can tell you for me, like, I go to bed at 9:30. So if you want to contact me after 8 o'clock, I promise you're not going to hear from me until the next day, because I will turn my phone off and I'm going to put that electronic down, because if it's anything important, somebody's going to call me. So I don't need to scroll on social media. I don't need to check my text messages. I don't need to look at Facebook. I don't need to look at my emails anymore. So I go to bed at 9:30 and I am up at 5:30. So my body knows that. Once you have established a habit, then your body knows what it needs. And just making yourself do that. Sometimes it's hard to make yourself do that.
And you really should try to continue that on through the weekend too. I know that's hard with activities that we may have going on, but that really is important as well. The other thing you want to do is avoid having caffeine, especially if you're sensitive to that. Exactly. Try not to have caffeine after noon if you can. That's what's the recommended time frame for in terms of stopping your caffeine.
Yes. You can drink some tea. I know that some people, when they drink tea, I don't have this problem yet, but I know that a lot of people, if you are drinking like chamomile tea. that you'll wake up in the middle of the night and then you go to the bathroom and then you go back to try to go back to sleep and then you're seeing some kind of light and then you can't go back to sleep. So that's can have a pro and con effect to it. So if you are looking to drink like a soothing tea at night, it might have an adverse effect on you.
Right, especially if you're one of those people who has to get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. And speaking of that, you do want to avoid too many fluids after you've had your dinner. And also remember that alcohol, although some of us think, oh, I'm going to sleep so well tonight because I had a couple glasses of wine. Truly, it will relax you, but it's also a stimulant and it's a diuretic. So you want to really be careful about that.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that you can change in terms of your behavior.
Exactly. So a lot of people will say only use the bedroom to sleep.
And
hanky-panky.
Hanky-panky, that's it for your bed. Yeah. But your bed should be your place where your body knows when I go to bed, I'm there to sleep. Unless you fit in a little bit of hanky-panky, which I hope you are. But at any rate, so you want to keep your bed limited to really just those main functions. So you don't want to be in there and using your bed for all the other functions before you go to bed, watching TV, even reading. It's more recommended to kind of read and then kind of in a chair and then move to your bed.
Yes.
So that is very helpful too.
Yep. Keep your thermostat low. You know, when we sleep in a hot room, sometimes it's very difficult for us to actually stay asleep. You can fall asleep, but if we get hot, then it's very uncomfortable to try to get back to sleep too. So these are just, different external things that you can control.
Right. And some other external things like we were talking about earlier is really having maybe some noise in your room. Could be a fan. Helps with your temperature control and it can block out some noise. And also a lot of people will have darkening shades in their room because that light really messes with their sleep. So you want to look at your environment. Make sure that you don't have something that's a bright light. Make sure that you don't. I used to have a dog snored like crazy.
Got one of those.
Or maybe you have a spouse who snores like crazy. You can't really kick them out, but keeping your pets, if there's someone who's bothersome in the middle of the night, keeping them elsewhere to sleep so that you can have your time to yourself to get a good night's sleep.
Yes. So the next thing we're going to hit on is just some kind of foods that you can naturally have too. So I know for a fact that these do help you sleep. And the reason why I know that is because when Ricky went through his heart attack, he was 50 pounds overweight for one. So he was snoring. And then he had a heart attack and we went on a downright, I just researched foods just for him to be able to lose the weight. So he lost 50 pounds. And so that stopped his snoring. So sometimes when you're carrying a little bit of extra weight, when you eliminate that weight, you are also killing like two birds with one stone. You may find like your snoring stops too. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah, they get all that pressure around their neck and that obstructive, sleep apnea occurs.
Yeah. So one of the main foods that they say magnesium, if you are really low in magnesium, then that causes some sleepless nights, sleep disturbances. So this is one really easy way for you to be able to sleep better. And so one of the foods that we have seriously every single morning, like we hardly ever change it up. I may change it up on the weekend. I might change it up if our kids come home, but actually I've even turned my kids onto it, is oats. Oatmeal in the morning. It's the number one magnesium agent that is in oats. It's an easy thing. It helps you lose weight too. Again, two birds with one stone. Your oats and you lose your weight.
Yeah, almonds are a great thing too for that.
Yes.
Some of the nuts with magnesium. And some people don't realize, but vitamin B6 is required for your body to produce your own melatonin. Melatonin is utilized. It's something that helps to relax you and causes you to have a good night's sleep. Melatonin is in milk. It's also in some other things, but you need to have that vitamin B6 to produce melatonin. And so things that have vitamin B6 involves things like fish, especially salmon, halibut, tuna. Also chickpeas, and I'm not a big banana person just because of all the carbs in it, but bananas also have that vitamin B6 and also potassium,
And your
which
magnesium
helps.
in that
And your
too.
magnesium, I know it's got everything in there, and it also
Yeah.
helps because some people when they're at this age get leg cramps.
Very
And
much so.
Magnesium
Yes, magnesium.
is very helpful for that.
Yes.
It also helps keep you regular.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So another thing, especially